Today is New Comic Book Day for February 26, 2020. Today we had one pretty big major book come out today that's been the hype of the past couple weeks, especially the past few days. It's been insane hype. So the comic book that I'm speaking of is Hell Arisen number 3, the first full appearance of Punchline. That comic has been trending, it's been going crazy, and so far it's been more of a limited production comic book from what I understand. So we'll talk more about that later, but let's get into this video. Before I start anything, I gotta give a huge shout out to one of my viewers on my YouTube channel who also works at the Comic Carnivore in Indianapolis. That gentleman's name is Tim. Tim watches my videos, and he's a very nice guy. We've had a few conversations while I'm at the Comic Carnival, and today he actually brought in his copy of Batman number 89, which came out last week, which was the first cameo Punchline. So you know, from last week, I missed out on this comic. I went to 3 different places. Every place was sold out, missed out. He actually brought in his copy and let me have it. So huge shout out to Tim. That was freaking awesome. I was really wanting this comic due to the first cameo of Punchline. So today in Indianapolis, it's actually kind of a wintry, snowy, nasty day. Supposed to get like 2-3 inches of snow. So I don't really want to travel around too much today, going to too many places, because there wasn't really a whole lot of books today that I planned on purchasing. So the closest comic book shop that I have to me is the Comic Carnival, which is literally like 3-4 miles down the road from me. So I decided just to go to that one place to get all my comics this week, to stay off the roads, because if the roads are that bad, no reason for me to drive all over the city, you know, trying to get comics in every place that's close to me. This week, the stack is quite a bit smaller than most weeks. Some weeks you see me get stacks that are, you know, twice this size, 3 times this size. I spent a total today is a cheaper week for me too, which is kind of nice. Save a little bit of money this week. But yeah, these all came from Comic Carnival, which is located on 7225 North Keystone Avenue in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I bought a total of that stack for $83.34. Let's get started. Let's talk about why I bought each one, how many I purchased, and the big spec book of the week, which is Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen number 3. First off, I got a free magazine at the Comic Carnival. Marvel likes to do kind of these preview kind of magazines, and most of your local comic book shops should be able to give you one of these for free. It gives you a preview of everything that's coming out over the next couple months. And looking through our list, there's some pretty cool Marvel comics that'll be coming out here pretty soon. So yeah, always see if your local comic shop has one of these to give you for free, because they probably do, and you know, they should. But first comic I purchased was the Avengers Defenders Tarot, which is number 3. Reason I purchased this, it is the first team appearance of the Unbelievables. I didn't go heavy in this book because I don't see this really going too crazy in the future, because of the first appearance isn't really a major one, but I do collect first appearance comics. It could be a team, it could be a person, an event kind of first appearance, but I do collect first appearances. So since this is a first team appearance, I had to pick it up. So a cover price of only $5, why not, you know? Next one I picked up from the Comic Carnival, it is Star Wars number 3. As of right now, there's nothing major happens in this comic. There's no big first appearance or origin story. All this was the 1 in 25 retailer incentive variant cover that I purchased from Comic Carnival for $10. I thought it was a pretty good price. I didn't really plan on picking this one up, just the comic cover, because there's nothing in it that should really be much future value, but I do like to collect the variant covers, the 1 in 10, the 1 in 15, the 1 in 25, 1 in 100, and so on. I do collect the harder to find variant covers because it's kind of fun, you know, to find them at your comic book shop and pick them up. You know, it's kind of like the thrill of the chase. I enjoy that. So a 1 in 25 cover, I had no choice, had to get it. $10, Comic Carnival. Next one is also a variant cover that I picked up. This one is the giant size XMen, Jean Grey and Emma Frost. I think this is going to be a 5-issue series, a one-shot for each issue. So this is one shot feature different characters in the X-Men universe. This is the 1 in 25 variant. So I was happy to pick this one up. I actually planned on picking this one up, like the Common Covenant, no matter what, just because it is a one-shot featuring characters. You never know what might be hidden in this book. Probably nothing major, but when I saw the variant cover there at Comic Carnival in 1 of 25 variant, I picked it up, and I was happy to get this for $12. Next one, I actually kind of went against my own way I collect. I am not a huge fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I never have been my whole life. When I was a small child back in the 80s, I watched a little bit. I watched the movies, but I've never really been a collector, really that much of an enthusiast of the Turtles. But this one came out today, and it features Jennika, which I actually don't know a whole lot about her, but I guess she is the first like female Ninja Turtle. If my research was correct, I could be off on that though. But they had this one there. This is the 1 in 10? 1 in 15 variant. I was only going to pick this up if they had a variant cover there, because I'm not a collector, a prospector, or speculator of Turtles comics. This is actually the first one I've ever purchased, but since this was the variant, I think this was the 1 in 10 variant of Jennika, her first solo title, went ahead, picked it up because I collect the harder to find variant covers. So next one I picked up is called Tomorrow. This is the #1 issue. It says, the end of the world is just the beginning. So I do collect #1 issues of brand new comic book runs, because you never know when the next story might be the next Walking Dead, or the next Witcher, or the next Lock and Key. Like, you never know what comic in the future might become a Netflix show, a TV show, or even a movie. So, I mean, for the low price of, $4 to $5 to pick up a #1 issue of a brand new comic run, why not? I collect the #1s. Just kind of like the prospector in me, just in case this becomes the next Walking Dead in a way. Probably not, but you never know. Next one was the only one that I can think of that I picked up multiple covers of. So this is AntMan #2. So AntMan #1, when that came out several weeks back, maybe a month ago now, I actually picked up, I think, 3 covers of that one, only because it was the first cameo appearance of 3 new characters. This one, AntMan #2, was the first full appearance of 4 new characters. This is the first full appearance in a comic book of the Macrothrax, Vespa, Thread, and Tusk. So 4 new characters, first full appearances. I said, go ahead and give me 2 copies, because I really enjoy collecting first appearances. And with 4 of them, buying 2 of these honestly was a no-brainer. Comic Carnival probably had about maybe 8 copies or so of this whenever I was there. I'm sure quite a few people had this onto their pull list that was reserved for them. So whenever I left, there were still at least 5 or 6 copies left on the shelf. So if you want to grab this, if you're local to here, go ahead. Comic Carnival has the AntMan #2, 4 first appearances in this comic. To me, it's a no-brainer. I actually picked up 2 of this one too, but different covers this time. This one I picked up is Falcon and Winter Soldier #1. So we got the new Disney Plus series of this coming out here very shortly. Hopefully sooner than later. I'm looking forward to it. But this comic had the first appearance of The Natural, a gifted killer. So a first appearance, possible new villain. You never know, that villain might pop up in the new Disney Plus TV series. If it does, I could see this book spiking. But I got the common cover and the variant cover. If this had a harder to find 1 in 10, 125 variant, they didn't have it. But if it is possible, if it does exist, I'll probably pick it up down the line eventually off eBay or something. But I think this is actually a decent book to speculate on if you want possible future value, because of the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV series that's coming on Disney Plus, and this is a brand new character. Next, I got a book that I think I forgot to buy when it came out last week or 2 weeks ago. The Rise of Kylo Ren, the 3rd issue. I'm collecting this entire series of Kylo Ren. The first one was the origin of Kylo Ren. The second one was the origin of Ben Solo. The third one is another origin of Ben Solo. I don't know why I didn't purchase this when it first came out. I think I just missed it at every shop I went to. But they actually had a restock of this at Comic Carnival. This is the first printing restock, and I went ahead, picked one up. I'm trying to get variants of the Kylo Ren series. They're incredibly hard to find. And they're pretty good value right now for all the variants from the first 3 issues of this so far. But I was happy, though, to pick this one up to keep my collection going of the entire Kylo Ren series. Next one I picked up is a brand new comic. This is the #1, Force Works 2020. So reason why I picked this up, once again, this is the first team appearance of Force Works 2020. I collect first appearances. This is an entire team first appearance. It's not the first appearance of the actual characters, but as a team, as the Force Works 2020, it is a first appearance. Potential future value on this probably isn't anything crazy. I don't really see this spiking in value much, but it's a first appearance, and in my realm of collecting, first appearances of anything is not bad to pick that comic book up. So I picked up one. This does have a harder to find variant. They didn't have it there, but if I see it eventually for a good price, I'll probably pick it up. Next, this one I bought purely because of the cover. This is the new Detective Comics number 1020. This cover is a variant cover by Lee Bermejo. I might have said that wrong. This comic has no first appearance, nothing major, no major deaths, no major anything. It was just a very cool cover. I saw this one, and this wasn't on my radar to pick up. I wasn't going to buy it, but this just came out today. The cover of this with Batman on it is just, I think this is one of the best covers that I've seen so far in 2020. Is it the best cover? No. Is it one of the best in terms of the artwork? It's fantastic. So I had to pick this up purely for just the artwork on the front of this cover. This is actually the variant cover, and the stock on this one is more of like a cardstock, so it is a harder, thicker cover to it. So if this does have any damage to it, any bends, any spine ticks, they can't be fixed because of the thickness of the cover. If it has any damage to it, you can't press it out. It's got damage, especially any kind of color breaking. Purely for the love of just the cover of it. Next one I picked up is also a brand new comic by Vault, looks like. It is called Finger Guns #1. I actually had to read about this comic when I saw it there. It wasn't really on my radar to pick up, but when I saw it, they actually had 3 different covers there. I think this one is kind of like the most common cover. Then they had 2 variant covers. They're not anything more limited or anything like that, but this has to do with a comic where people, whenever they make like finger guns, it does things. Like it gives them power. So it's kind of an intriguing kind of story, I thought. And it's a #1. You never know. Next one was another #1 from the Hidden Society. This actually had 2 covers to it. This one is the variant cover. They had one that was a common cover and a variant cover. Both were equal ratios. One of them is not more rare than the other one. This cover I thought was just a cooler looking cover. This is from Dark Horse Comics and #1. And with a brand new comic, and with Dark Horse Comics recently having some pretty good runs of brand new series, I had to pick it up just because it is #1 and I collect them as always. So it's never a bad investment to pick up a #1 of a possible new popular comic that's coming. And the last comic was actually for free. It's the free Marvel Spotlight Avengers Fantastic Four Empire #1, featuring previews of Champions and Spider-Woman and much more. So this is actually like a full-size comic with just previews of other comics inside of this comic. So sometimes these spotlights can actually have a first appearance in them that you don't expect, and so they let you have one for free. So obviously I grabbed one just in case if this happens to be like the preview. The actual comic that's in here has a preview or like a cameo of a new character or something. So will this have any kind of future value? I honestly have no idea. I don't know if anything is in here that might be some kind of a first appearance of the actual issue. I don't know, but went ahead. It was free. Why not grab one? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got today from the Comic Carnival. $83 I spent. I think I got some very good books, some pretty good books for future investment. They did not have any available of the Year of the Villain, Hell Arisen #3. Everything was reserved for people's pull lists. I was hoping to get it. I was actually there early. I was actually first in line too, but there was nothing left. But that's okay. My other comic book shop in town, Sorrow City Comics, all their Hell Arisen came in damaged. So actually they're sending their entire stock back. So they said they might be able to get more in the next few days. So hopefully they do. If they do, hopefully I can go pick one up. So the only comic this week that I wanted was the new Hell Arisen #3, which is the first full appearance of Punchline. I missed out on it, but hopefully I can pick it up down the line, either on eBay or luck out, and I get a restock at a local comic book shop. So hopefully it happens. But that's the only one I missed out this week, but I'll get it eventually. That is the new comic books for the new comic book day, February 26th. Good day. Not a whole lot purchased from I usually buy, but I think I made some pretty solid purchases. I'm happy with what I got. So collect how you like to collect how you want to collect, and collect what you enjoy. No matter how you collect, it is not wrong. So I'll see you next time. I'm out.